Kill the battery. Well, we're back to collecting wood. It's 2019 is January, dead of winter here in Michigan, and my favorite time to get out and do most of the wood processing that we do for the year. We use wood for quite a few different things. We burn wood to heat our home in an indoor wood stove that we just got this year. I'm also going to be heating our greenhouse with wood throughout the February, March, April time frame. And we also boil maple syrup during the early spring, and so we'll be using wood to burn for that, maple syrup processing. And ever since I have moved in here, I have been trying to get on top of the wood collection and processing whole operation here, and trying to get ahead. And I finally have come to a point where I'm starting to get ahead now. So I'm starting to collect all of next year's wood right now here in the wintertime. And we'll let this season out throughout the year, throughout the summertime. And then throughout the summertime, whenever I have a chance, I will split a lot of this wood in a nice dry area so it can really season out and dry out before we start burning it in the fall. So a farmer down the road about 20 minutes from us here, he cut down a whole bunch of silver maple trees all along his farm fields, and I think it was 11 or 12 of them that he cut down, and bunch of wood out there. He said I could just come take it as I please, and so the trees are all down, and he even took a lot of the limbs and branches off most of them. And so I've just been going out there. A friend of mine helped me out the other day and went out and we grabbed a load. And believe it or not, this all that you see right here is 2 full pickup truck and trailer loads of that lawn trailer. So we filled that up twice, and this is what it is. So it's quite a bit of wood here. But what we're going to do is leave this all round. So I'm not going to split any of this right now. It's all real green, so not burning it this year. I'm fine with leaving this stuff sitting out in the weather. It's actually fine, it seems like to me anyway, and I'm no super expert, but it seems fine to leave it out here in the rain when it's not split, because it actually, the bark and everything else and the way that they are, you know, it's actually kind of drying out on the ends here. The end grain will let off some of that moisture, and the rain and stuff like that doesn't penetrate quite as much through the the logs when they're not split. Once you split these things and you expose all the inner surfaces of that wood, and then you leave that stuff out in the rain, it just soaks up that water, and you'll never get that stuff dry. So being that I don't have a covered place to put all of next year's wood yet, it'll have to sit out here out in the weather. I could get a tarp or something like that and throw over it too if I get if I come across a good deal on some tarps, but I'm not too worried about it. What I've been doing to hold the logs from just kind of rolling off, you know, holding the stack in place, is just putting a couple of the big, you know, trunk chunks at the end here to stack them up, and that seems to work out pretty good. When they're round like this, it's a lot harder to hold your stack in place. I could drive a few T-posts in the ground or something like that also, but this works out just fine, and it's free, and I don't have to use up any of my T-posts that we'll be using for other things. So what I plan to do is we'll surround this whole entire chicken coop with pallets. So we'll do another pallet here all the way along the side, and then on the other side of it there, we'll do pallets all along that side, and we'll just keep stacking up all the wood that we collect, and we'll continue on and get ready for next year's wood burning season. And the way that this is stacked, there's a nice air gap down the middle of everything, and air available on both sides. So hopefully this stack of wood will season out pretty good. And for those of you who are wondering, we're not going to be stacking any of our wood in strange circles or circular piles of any sort like some other popular YouTubers out there. I know it's been mentioned to me before. Well, I think that's kind of silly, to be honest with you. Stacking wood straight rows this way in, you know, decent sized 4-foot stacks, as long as you can make them, allows the wind to be exposed to both sides of that wood, flowing in between, and the sun can shine on it, and it's much easier to stack on pallets and other things. I just don't see a reason to stack wood in circles. But we'll stick with straight stacking here. I also have this pile. This is all stuff that's the longer, you know, the guy cut a lot of stuff out of there, and a bunch of pine I picked up at the park that was dumped for free, and other stuff in here. This is all pretty green too, so this stuff will sit here, and when I get some time, I'll come in and chop it up into sections that are 16 to 18 inches long, and we'll take all this and put it in our stacks as well. And so it's time now to move the splitter over onto the other side of my stack here, and we're gonna pick through some of this stuff also. A lot of this is that cherry that was just cut down, so that stuff's not seasoned. We'll move that over and stack it up out here, and we'll pick through. Some of the stuff is seasoned though. You can see the stuff with the mushrooms growing on it. That's older stuff and dead stuff, and this stuff here is seasoned up pretty good. This stuff, these ones. So we've got a lot to process through that is seasoned, and I want to get some of this cherry up on pallets and stack that off to the side too. A lot of people have commented, why are you out in the winter time processing wood? You should have all your wood processed before winter comes. Well, I disagree. I think, you know, yeah, I definitely think we should have this year's wood processed and ready for to burn this year. I shouldn't be out collecting wood for this year. Late fall and throughout the winter time is my favorite time to process and collect wood. The ground is frozen. The woods are clear, all the mosquitoes are gone. There's no poison ivy or poison oak or anything like that to worry about. Get in and out of the woods real easy. I can get in and out of farm fields. I can get anywhere without dealing with mud or anything like that, or bugs or whatever. When you're out working, you're not cold anyway, and everything's just clear. It's just easy. So this also just happens to be about the only time of year I don't have anything else going on. I'm not in a maple syrup yet. I'm not growing anything in the greenhouse yet. Hay season hasn't started, gardening hasn't started. You know, we're not selling pumpkins, we're not doing all these other things. So this is my time that I have to collect wood, and so it works out both ways. So let's fire up the splitter and get some of this wood processed here, the stuff that's seasoned and ready to burn, and then we'll get that stored away in the barn or in the garage, and that stuff will be ready to burn here in the next few weeks or month or whenever we need it. So. All right, I'm not sure if this stuff is actually seasoned enough or not. It's pretty stringy. Not sure what kind of wood it was. It was just, I found it up there at the park, so it could be anything. And I'm not sure how old it is either. So let's go into the house and see if we can throw this in the fire and see how well it burns. If it doesn't burn good, then I'm not going to split the rest of that yet. All right, well, I can hear the sizzling of the water escaping from the wood there, and it's not burning at all. So those are definitely wet still. So we'll leave that for next year. Well, that'll get us started for now. I actually am running out of daylight and running out of time, so we'll get a smaller load today, but every week I try to get one pickup truck load full of split wood into the undercover somewhere, so in the barn or in the garage, so it can dry out, and all this stuff is nice and seasoned and dried out. The stuff should burn really well. More to come on the old outdoor wood burner. It's going to be getting moved soon. Can I do it with my tractor? You think I can lift it? I don't know, it's pretty heavy. So for next year, we also have the big cherry tree that I cut down off that motorhome. A good friend of mine let me keep all this wood, and there's quite a bit of wood here. These are big old pieces, so this will be a good chunk of what we need for next year. Will just come right out of these logs. This is sitting up on pallets, and we'll let this dry out, season out for into the summertime, and then about June or July I'll cut this all up and then split it and get it under cover and let it season out the rest of the way, split into some nice small pieces. I think that should work out pretty good. It's certainly a never-ending process, cutting wood here and splitting wood, and I just try to set aside a day every week. Usually Wednesday is the day that I just set aside to just deal with wood. I get out in the morning and start stacking stuff, splitting stuff, organizing the wood, go out and collect a trailer load, whatever I can do that week, whether it's seasoned stuff or whether it's green stuff that I just cut down for next year. I got to start preparing. So my goal is to have every bit of wood that I'll need for the entire year next year by springtime. So by the time May comes around, I want to be all done with wood for next year. So I want to have it all stacked up and ready to go. I won't have it split yet, but I just like to have it all collected and set up on the property and stacked. So that's the goal. Hopefully we can keep up with it. Just kind of a quick update on wood collection here. I try to take you guys along for every part of this. The indoor wood stove was a huge upgrade for us this year. We're burning far less wood, but that wood does have to be seasoned well to burn well in there. I've noticed that makes a huge difference. So the more ahead I can get, if I can get 2 years ahead, maybe next year I'll be able to be 2 years ahead, and that wood will even be more seasoned and in better condition for me, and it just becomes easier and easier as we get these processes set up. So if you're thinking about burning wood, it's worth it. I tell you what, I definitely think it's worth it. I wouldn't change for burning propane by any means. The amount of money we'd spend is ridiculous. And for heating the greenhouse and boiling, sap and all that stuff, I mean, we got to have wood. By far worth it, but it's a lot of work, and it's good work. It's fun work. It's stuff I like to do, and you just got to consider that when you're gonna make the dive and start to heat solely with wood. It's a lifestyle. Of course, you can buy wood too. You can buy pole wood and cords of wood or whatever, but if you're gonna do it all yourself, it's definitely a lot of work. So thumbs up on the video today, guys. Don't forget, and subscribe if you want to follow along. Lots of wood collecting and all kinds of wood stuff coming up. We're gonna be digging into some chainsaws and stuff like that here coming up pretty soon too. Maybe we'll do that comparison video I talked about. And the raised bed garden, the secret project will be revealed here early next week, so stick around for that. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.